We're going. Oh my god. Well, Feralas. Feral like my budgies. It's another Trump game. Getting a lot of them at the moment. But I'm just joining what it is that I can watch. And this is one of those games. But this is Team Blue versus Red. So top versus bottom. So Team Blue, top, is Team Communism and IMBA. So we'll go through them. We've got the Blue Orc. I can't really tell you the other stuff just yet. Oh, there's an orange night elf. There's a blue... Oh, what is that? Is that a human? I'm going to guess that's a human. No. I'm going to guess pink orc, orange night elf, blue orc, and purple human. Because I wasn't paying attention to the races. I never do when the loading screen comes up. So let's see if I'm right. Okay, so pink orc, orange night elf. Ah, blue human. You spoil it. And purple human. So I just got the blue wrong. Okay, nice cushy base. So that right there is Team Communism and IMBA. Rezaman, pink orc, Chev, orange night elf, Bolt, blue human, and PG MisterWinner. That's the purple human. We are fouls on Team Trump. Red human, solo white, yellow human, Baka, green orc, and Longwalk USA. That's the teal night elf. I think the positions are good for the players. I don't think anyone has too much of a disadvantage here. I wonder if Chev might be the one that gets bullied here. Longwalk USA only has 2 outs for his huntresses, which I imagine he'll go because he's going Priestess of the Moon. Tauren Chieftain for Feralas. Wisp aggroing on the gold mine. Whoops. Some of these players might not have played these maps. Bear that in mind in quite some time because these are the maps that are on the PTR. They don't really get played. Oh, there goes another one. I've always said that Blizzard maps should be balanced or rebalanced so that creeps can't aggro initial scouts. This is more potent in 1 versus 1. In 4 versus 4 RT there's going to be like more creeps and stuff like that. But in 1 versus 1 at least, you should be able to send your wisp to an enemy base and not have it get auto-killed on the way. Okay, so Footman, Archmage coming out. Footman, Archmage. Wonder if it's an early expansion. There's a lot of Murlocs, but they're all little Murlocs, so it's totally doable to go open up with an early expansion. Priest of the Moon. Tauren Chieftain starting with a green camp nearby. Priest of the Moon about to aggro. Take an extra bit of damage whilst going to aggro the enemy. This looks like a nice easy job here for Bolt. MisterWinner going for the green camp at the start. Priest of the Moon might pick off the last hit. Does. Gets the 20 experience. Isn't Priest of the Moon such a stinker? Looks like a pretty easy expansion for Bolt. Raz chasing off the Priestess of the Moon. Solo white starting off with the Golem camp. So some players start off with the green camp. Some players go for the Golems. Others have gone straight for the expansion. It's all different. Oh, I haven't worked out in a while, Keep. I've got to get back into that, but I've got things to do. Do I own any bitcoins? No, I don't.
A player's forces are under attack.
So Bolt's now clearing out that yellow, green camp, sorry, with the expansion. Longwalk just being a nuisance to RaZZoR whilst he builds up his headhunters. Gonna have to steal this headhunter build. They delay the tech so they can get more headhunters. I stopped doing that. I normally just tech straight up so the Tauren Chieftain can soak up more experience. Okay, Rock Golem camp. The humans seem to do pretty well on this map. There's a lot to creep nearby and very easy for your militia to access. So it seems to be a pretty good map for human. It's a very straightforward map, actually, this one, really. There's quite a few creep camps, but in the grand scheme of things, not that many. You got orange camp here, and you kind of have that going. You've got Merc camp and Merc camp with shop and shop on the outside. There's no laboratory, I don't think, here.
A player's forces are under attack.
RaZZoR finishing his camp. Looks like Backer's going for the Murlocs. He's got a lightning shield, that could be really good versus these Murlocs, but I guess he's not too worried about using it. But I would consider it.
A town is under siege.
I think White has Longwalk, sorry, has backed off the harass. We've got solo White defending his expansion whilst he's trying to creep it. His expansion creeps. And he catches a couple of Bolt's footmen because they get ensnared by the huntsman. So that was a pretty good deal for White. He's actually level 3 now. So those are level 2 water elementals. That's going to make his life a lot easier. Very powerful those are. Oh, Bolt, another footman. On the left hand side, we've got Walk's hunters being caught by Chev, but at the same time, Chev's going to have to back off here because there's quite a lot of damage coming from Walk there. Oh, the Huntress Wars. You've also got Raz coming in between. Not sure which way back is going to go. So you've got basically Night Elf with Hunts, and you got Tauren Chieftain with Headhunters for both the left hand side positions. Tauren Chieftain going to be level 3 shortly. Bolt already setting up that expansion. MisterWinner has his 99.7, 760, so 200 gold ahead, so basically 20 seconds. Oh, thank you very much there, Rob Shea. Thank you for the sub. Thanks for supporting. Looks like a nasty attack. Might be time to turn some team colours on. Okay. We've got an attempt from Backer, but I think he's going to back off. I've said that so many times, I swear I have. They'll just have to settle for doing the creep camps on their side. It's always an advantage if you can take creep camps from your enemy players, but the risk is just too high with that many players nearby. I'm not even trying to rhyme now. Okay, Chev putting the pressure, but they're most likely going to back off and steal this camp. I would have thought so. Maybe not. They're quite chase happy. Raz's Tauren Chieftain does not have any healing available to him. There's no healing cell, so he's got to be a bit careful with that. If he keeps getting poked at, he won't be able to stay in the fights for long. Okay, Solo White coming over to an expansion that looks pretty well defended. A couple of arcane towers, certainly not bad at all. And I feel like he's going to be forced to town portal maybe, because this is quite a large force. Backer's trying to get a good position. But like I say, Raz can't stay in the fight for too long because of that Tauren Chieftain, so I think this is a bit rough actually. Backer's got the advantage in this situation. Meanwhile, Chev is pushing hard and Bolt's footmen aren't getting that much done other than being a little bit of a meat shield. Yeah, Raz has had to run away there. There was no situation where that was going to go too good for him, so he backs off on the attack, which means that Longwalk might still be able to keep his base because he's got his buddy to come in and help. And those headhunters will be effective. Although Raz has returned. But for how long? Watch that Tauren Chieftain run. Oh, is he going to actually get away? I don't know if he's going to get away. He's sticking in there actually. Screw it, he says. I'm just going to stand here and fight. Okay, so harass on there. Harass on there. Oh, expansion being taken out. So just in case you were curious. Even the Murlocs are joining in the fight here. So on the east-hand side, Winner is trying to defend with just basically an Archmage and a Footman. Bolt the Kodos actually sacrifices the expansion here for the aggression earlier with his Footman. But Solo White actually, with his persistence and stubbornness to not defend his ally, which was the right thing to do in this situation, as long as they... Because what you'll find is if you're playing 4 versus 4 RT, you'll get allies like ping like crazy and make out as though they're being attacked by 10 billion units and stuff. But really, they can probably hold it off, which will allow you to do a lot more damage like this. Whereas if you're forced to town portal, which they will try to force you to town portal because they'll be panicking and having a go at you, you won't be able to get to do all this damage. So now, I mean, you can TP at this stage if you really wanted to, but even then I don't think it's him TPing. The continued harass is going. And it's actually Feralas that is coming into TP. Okay, there'll be some bounce back there. Bear in mind that there's one expansion for this team at the bottom. So that's the IMBA team. Whereas there's 2 expansions at the top, but it's arguable as to say how valuable those are when they've been taking so much damage. I mean, look how many corpses there are. It's pretty crazy. Solo White still being aggressive within this territory. Still holding on, because he's got the Mountain King. A second hero does give you a lot more control. It's the Water Elemental fight and the Priest skulking into the back. Footmen just don't quite cut it, really. They're good versus the Spellbreaker, but not much else. On the left-hand side, we've got Tauren Chieftain battles. But we've got the Berserkers for RaZZoR. Baka hasn't quite reached that stage yet. Also more upgrades on RaZZoR's units, but he's getting a beating from the creeps. Ah, there's a nice flank there. Chev coming in to seal the deal just as well. Okay, I imagine some Scrolls of Healing are going to be picked up. I'd be surprised if they weren't. You can get so much value from a Scroll of Healing at this stage in the game with that many units. There we go. Scroll of Healing being picked up there for Raz. Bolt now returning. Gone for a Blood Mage as his second hero. It's hard to pull off the Blood Mage, but very rewarding if you can actually get away with it. Flame Strike is hard to hit targets because it's very easy to move out of it if you know how to play. Most 4 vs 4 RT players don't know, so they just stand in it, which means you can really get away with a very powerful Blood Mage. Makes him a very fun hero to play in 4 vs 4 RT. That is a lot of Huntresses. Now, you say Rifles are very good versus Huntresses, but if you can get those Huntresses close enough to put that much pressure, it will go much more favourably towards the Huntresses, especially when a human is turning up from behind with Mountain King, Footman, Archmage. The run is real here. Fowl's trying to get out. He's got a buddy coming in from the left-hand side, but that army looks pretty significant for blue. More of a tech army here for Communism and IMBA. Going for Spellbreakers Priests with the Rifles versus the more basic Huntresses and Footmen for Team Trump. On the left-hand side, though, we have RaZZoR getting back. Baka and Longwalk have pushed them out of their territory. He's trying to keep these rifles going, but he's losing a lot. This is what happens when you don't have a TP, but it's not easy to afford a TP all the time, because it's 350 gold, it's not cheap. But you have to be greedy sometimes and not get a TP and just see if you can run away. That's the price you pay. Okay. Still this one established expansion, which I'm pretty sure is at least 1 pixel, maybe even 2 pixels too far. I don't know whether that's a tactical decision or what, but it does trigger me. Bolt the Kodo goes for a nice defense here. I like the way he's sort of positioned his expansion. Like, even though it got crushed, it only got crushed because essentially he wasn't able to defend it because he was putting pressure on and committing to the cause. But like 3 towers sort of like at the top left, furthest away, you've got a couple of farms that distract, a tanky blacksmith, and that can provide some sort of like tankiness as well as more practicality with the shop. Night Elf expansion just about to go up, so more expansions coming up for the top team, which is Team Trump. But a hero has been lost. If a big fight is lost for Team Trump, then they could be in trouble because those expansions could be vulnerable. But it looks like the fights are going well for them overall. There's pressure on the left-hand side, not being contested. They're pushing forward on the east-hand side, closer towards the open expansion of Solo White. Longwalk USA picks off the expansion before... He got 130 gold from that expansion and lost all of his wisps and 1 Tree of Life. Probably not worth it. Yeah, Longwalk USA is pretty good with turning up with his Huntresses and doing a lot of siege damage. He seems to really do a lot of siege damage with those Huntresses. I've never seen Huntresses go through buildings so quickly. Especially main bases. Oh, we got an Ogre Mauler fronting up the human army. Nice and tanky. Although that's a pretty significant army, but it doesn't belong to just 1 player. It's 2 players here. So blue and purple facing up against yellow and red here. Spellbreakers in a nice arc. Ogre trying to position. There's a bit of back and forth going on. They're not sure whether to commit to this. I like the Berserker as well, actually. That's some nice Berserking. Nice use of the Mercs. So back alongside Walk. Bouncing back and forth, deciding what to do next in their game. That's a lot of Priests and a bit of Sork for control. So we're seeing far more use of the Arcane Sanctum in this game. Perhaps the map encourages it, or perhaps it's just the player's preference in playstyle. There goes a Flame Strike. You'll get there eventually. There is another Blood Mage though. It's a Mountain King for MisterWinner, but it isn't easy to be a Mountain King against a whole bunch of Spellbreakers. But fortunately for him, he's not facing too many Spellbreakers, so he can be a bit more ballsy and apply pressure coming up into the Rifles' faces. Chev trying to flank in on the left-hand side, chasing down. We've got RaZZoR trying to group up with his buddies that are applying pressure from the top to make this a 4 versus 1 situation. Solo White, not much of an expansion now. He had it for a long time though. He had a good run. So there's just a big old chase here. Level 6 Paladin. When the hell did that happen? Level 6 Tauren Chieftain. Just a couple of heroes that sort of really bounced forward here in experience. That is a powerful army. It's chasing heavy through. Okay, so Bakka's getting into position. He's got the healing wards down. He's got the arc. They've got a much larger army here, but it's very much more clumped, so it's harder for it to get into position. But it is pushing through. And I don't see quite enough here for Communism&IMBA. And we've got all of these Huntresses from Longwalk, who belongs to that team, trying to find something to do with them. Don't think he has his Priestess of the Moon in range to Town Portal just yet. There we go. She's over. But it might be a little bit too late now, as this is such a large force. It's getting well out of control. The level 6 Paladin goes down, so there's no opportunity for resurrection, not that I saw. Level 5 Priestess of the Moon in this attack. The faster she gets up there, the quicker we can see Priestess of the Moon Starfall. We've got Longwalk, who might be able to reach it, but he's not in a good position for it. They are starting to get wiped out here. The Spellbreakers are still holding ground. We've got the Witch Doctors in the back just pushing forward. So many Sentinels, and it does look like the GG as Team Trump take it.